Awesome. So, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Mina Cabrion, and this is Amity Foundation, the third-party administrator technical assistance webinars. Today, we are going to present on effective volunteer recruitment and retention strategies. So, at Amity, acting as the third-party administrator for LA County's Justice, Care, and Opportunities Department and the CFCI Care Grants. The CFCI, or Care First Community Investment Grants, are the result of ballot measure J, voted in by LA County residents in 2020. Care First community investment funds aren't intended to be invested directly into communities and alternatives to incarceration that address negative outcomes caused by racially driven criminal legal system inequalities, and long-term economic disinvestments. Today's webinar is being recorded. You do not have to be on camera. Understand that if you are on camera, your image may be captured in the recording. Staying on the webinar represents your consent to being recorded. At Amity, we incorporate teachings that center the community before we begin our work. Today, we will use the LA County Land Acknowledgement to recognize the price paid by individuals that has resulted in efforts such as the Care First Community Investment. We recognize that we occupy land originally and still inhabited and cared for by the Tonva, Tataviam, Serrano, Quiche, and Chumash peoples. We honor and pay respect to their elders and descendants. We acknowledge that settler colonization resulted in the genocide of the First Peoples. This acknowledgement demonstrates our responsibility and commitment to truth, healing, and reconciliation, and to elevating the stories, culture, and community of the original inhabitants of Los Angeles County. Yeah. Okay. So today's webinar again is on recruiting and retaining and motivating volunteers. So engaging volunteers effectively is crucial for any organization. Oftentimes, we're not able to have as many staff members as we would like. Either there are no funds, or we're just starting out, or we need extra hands-on individuals who can help us out during an event. So we often, however, face challenges that can impact a volunteer's experience and long-term commitments. And of course, we never want that. Today, we're going to look at 4 common barriers in this slide as well that can affect volunteer engagement and ultimately that can impact your organization. So, time constraints. Many volunteers juggle work, family, and personal obligations. Rigid schedules can discourage them from staying engaged or even joining volunteer efforts for an organization. Providing flexibility in your scheduling can help volunteers balance their commitments. A lot of times, volunteers are college students who have to balance schoolwork and work. So definitely giving them, time in the evenings or on the weekends is always better for them. Lack of clear communication, so unclear expectations or irregular updates can lead to frustration. Volunteers may feel lost or undervalued if they are not kept informed. Consistent, clear communication makes volunteers feel connected and ensures that they understand their roles as a volunteer. Limited support and training. So volunteers who don't receive adequate support or training may feel unprepared and overwhelmed. Establishing a strong onboarding and mentorship process helps build their confidence and makes them more effective in their roles. mismatch of skills and roles. Volunteers thrive when their skills align with their tasks. When there's a mismatch, they can feel frustrated or underutilized. Assigning roles that suit individual strengths can increase satisfaction and impact. By identifying these barriers, we can take steps to create a more positive, engaging volunteer experience. When volunteers feel supported and well placed, they're more likely to stay and make meaningful contributions. So, the importance of volunteers. So, volunteers play a crucial role in the success and growth of any nonprofit. First, they help extend your reach and your impact. They also allow you to serve more people and deliver on your mission without the added financial cost of hiring additional staff. Bringing fresh perspectives and skills is another invaluable benefit. Volunteers come from diverse backgrounds, which mean that they bring unique skills, ideas, and problem-solving approaches that can energize your program and strategies. Volunteers also enhance your community relationships by representing your organization in their circles and networks. They help build trust and increase awareness of your mission. Finally, volunteers contribute to strengthening your organizational culture. Their passion and dedication set a positive example for others, building a culture of service and teamwork within your organization. In short, volunteers aren't just extra hands, they're essential partners in making a lasting difference to your organization. Creating meaningful volunteer opportunities. So, to keep volunteers engaged and motivated, it's essential to create meaningful opportunities that resonate with them personally and professionally. First, you can aim to align roles with volunteers' skills and interests. When volunteers are matched to roles that fit their talents and passions, they're more likely to feel fulfilled and committed. It's important to be able to provide a clear purpose and highlight the impact of their work. Volunteers want to know that their time is making a difference. Sharing specific goals and how they contribute support your mission, and it can make their experience more rewarding. You can also encourage their skill development by offering opportunities that help volunteers grow. For example, providing training or assigning tasks that allow them to learn new skills makes their role valuable beyond the immediate task. And also offering regular recognition and feedback is key to a positive volunteer experience. Recognizing their efforts, both formally and informally, helps volunteers feel appreciated and valued. By creating roles that are purposeful, aligned with volunteer interests, and development fostered, you can build a more engaged and committed volunteer team. So crafting effective volunteer position descriptions. So creating clear and detailed position descriptions is essential for attracting the right volunteers and setting them up for success. You can start by defining clear roles and responsibilities. This gives volunteers a solid understanding of what they'll be doing, reducing confusion and increasing confidence in their role. By specifying skills and qualifications needed for the position, it helps match the right volunteer to the right role and ensures that they have the background to succeed. Making sure to outline the time commitment and expectations. This is your way of being upfront about hours, deadlines, and it can help volunteers plan their involvement and prevent burnout and make sure that they don't have to leave in the middle of one of your events. Finally, it's important to highlight the benefits and impact of the role. Volunteers want to know that their work is meaningful. So, explaining how their contributions support the organization's mission will deepen their connection to the role. By clearly defining position descriptions, you can attract the right people, set realistic expectations, and ultimately create a positive volunteer experience. So, recruiting the right volunteer. Recruiting the right volunteers starts with a strategic approach that ensures that you're bringing on individuals who are not only passionate, but also well suited to meet your organization's needs. You can begin by identifying what your organization's needs are. Understanding which skills and support areas are most essential helps you target recruitment efforts effectively. Define the ideal volunteer profile. It can include outlining specific skills, qualities, and values that align with each role that is needed. Knowing what you're looking for makes it easier to recognize the right fit when you see it. Use diverse recruitment channels to reach a broad audience, such as social media, local events, partnerships with schools, or community organizations. Casting a wide net helps attract volunteers from various backgrounds, enriching your organization. Lastly, making sure to communicate your mission and the impact of volunteer roles. People want to know again that their time is valuable. By showing how their work contributes to a greater purpose, you're able to attract individuals who are truly motivated and that want to make a difference. So, by ensuring that volunteers follow these steps or that you follow these steps, you're able to bring volunteers on board that are not just aligned with your mission, but that they're ready to make an impact straight from day one. So screening volunteers. So similar to employees, you want to make sure that you're screening your volunteers and that it's a part of the recruitment process that helps you ensure a strong match between the volunteer and the organization. Start by reviewing a volunteer's application, maybe their resume, to get a sense of each volunteer's experience, skills, and suitability for their role within your organization. Conduct interviews if you have to, so that you can explore their interests and motivations. There's only so much that they can put in their applications and resumes. So through an interview, you're definitely able to discuss the position more in detail, what your organization does more in detail, address any questions, and gauge if they are genuinely aligned with your mission. In certain roles, it may be necessary to also check references or conduct background checks. For instance, if your organization works with children, you want to make sure that they can work with children. Your CFCI grant also asks that you ensure that they are not on any Megan's laws. And definitely, this will just ensure safety and reliability within a volunteer. Assess the candidate's alignment with your organization's mission and values. Again, make sure that your volunteers share your goals and values. That way, they're more likely to feel connected and committed to their volunteer duties. So, through careful screening, you can build a dedicated volunteer team that not only has the right skills, but is also passionate about contributing to your cause. Again, many times we don't have the funds or we don't have the will to hire staff. So volunteers can definitely take on those roles and responsibilities. So, key places to recruit volunteers. So, to build a committed volunteer team, it's essential to recruit from a variety of places where you can connect with people passionate about giving back. So, look at online platforms such as Volunteer Match, Idealist, LinkedIn. Those are great for reaching volunteers who are actively searching for opportunities. Social media, as always, can be extremely powerful. You can share posts on your accounts with hashtags in order to reach a broader audience. Educational institutions such as high schools, colleges, universities are filled with students looking for community service hours or career experience. You can contact campus clubs or career centers in order to promote your volunteer roles. Community centers and faith-based organizations are also reliable resources. Many people involved in local libraries, YMCAs, religious groups have strong service values and may be interested in volunteering. And then, of course, consider corporate partnerships for employee volunteer programs or reach out to civic groups like Rotary clubs. Corporate volunteer days and partnerships with civic organizations can help attract skilled and enthusiastic individuals. For instance, the volunteers from Disney, they are always looking for opportunities in order to have their volunteers give back to the community. So by recruiting from these diverse sources, you can find dedicated volunteers who are excited to again contribute to your mission and your organization. So training and orientation. So training and orientation are crucial steps in setting volunteers up for success. A well-structured introduction helps them feel welcome, prepared, and aligned with your organization's mission. Start by introducing them to the organization's mission, values, and culture. Oftentimes, volunteers come in not knowing anything about the organization. They just know that they need community service hours or they know that they want to help the community. So definitely it gives volunteers a strong sense of purpose and shows how their work contributes to your broader goals. Again, provide role-specific training. If you need a volunteer to do resumes, make sure that they know how to do a resume or interview skills. Providing the skills and knowledge so that you know that they know what they're doing. Whether it's understanding software, safety protocols, or communication methods, training should be tailored to their specific tasks. Set clear expectations and goals. So outline what success looks like for a volunteer, including any timelines, responsibilities, performance measures. This can definitely build confidence and minimize misunderstandings between you and your volunteer team. And then create ongoing support channels. So this could be through mentorship, regular check-ins, access to resources. Volunteers who feel supported are more likely to stay engaged and contribute meaningfully. With a thorough orientation and training program, you empower volunteers to start their journey with confidence and a clear understanding of how they can make a difference and how they are really making a difference within your organization. So recognizing and retaining volunteers. So recognizing and retaining volunteers is essential to building a dedicated long-term team. So you don't want to be going through um, the need of recruiting volunteers every single event. Sometimes you will have to, but if you have one volunteer who is very committed and always coming, definitely show them your appreciation and that they're supported so that they're more likely to stay and contribute and continue contributing. So start by celebrating milestones and achievements. Recognize that volunteers' contributions through events, awards, or even a simple thank you message. Celebrating their efforts makes them feel valued. Provide regular feedback and support to help your volunteers feel connected and confident in their roles. Positive feedback encourages them, and constructive guidance definitely will help make them grow. Offer opportunities for growth. So whether that's through additional training, maybe you are able to hire someone, or leadership positions within the volunteer team. Volunteers who see personal and professional development opportunities are also more likely to stay engaged. Finally, creating a welcoming and inclusive environment. So a culture of belonging fosters loyalty and makes volunteers feel that they are a part of the community. By recognizing contributions and supporting personal growth, you are able to build a volunteer program that can retain talent and keeps your volunteers motivated to make that impact that you're looking for. So creative ways to recognize volunteers. So again, you want to make their experience memorable and meaningful. So, encouraging long-term engagement, you want to sometimes show a unique way of showing that appreciation. So, you could do a volunteer spotlight in a newsletter or on your social media. It's a great way to publicly acknowledge volunteers' hard work, highlighting them on, your website or giving them a recommendation on LinkedIn that celebrates their contributions, but also inspires others to get involved. A personalized thank you gift. It's small, but it's meaningful, like a handwritten card, a gift that reflects their interests, or a branded merchandise. Let's say that you have, your company shirt. Of course, give your volunteers one. Not only is it free swag, but it's also free advertising. Personalized gestures show thoughtfulness and make volunteers feel uniquely valued. So certificates and milestone awards are also a perfect way of honoring volunteers who reach key service benchmarks. Recognizing years of service or hours contributed emphasizes that their commitment is both noticed and appreciated. Lastly, consider hosting exclusive volunteer events or offering special perks, so such as a volunteer appreciation luncheon, access to behind the scenes events, or unique opportunities within your organization that can create a sense of exclusivity and belonging. By adding a creative touch to your recognition efforts, you show volunteers that their dedication is uh, is noticed and you keep them excited to stay involved. So, engaging staff and recognizing volunteers. So, when you have staff and volunteers, it's always nice to, engage your staff in recognizing your volunteers as well. That way, it's not all on you. So it helps also build a supportive and unified culture when everyone is involved so that everyone can feel valued and appreciated. So start by encouraging team-wide acknowledgement. Invite staff to personally thank volunteers or recognize their effort in team meetings or emails. When staff express appreciation, the volunteers feel more connected to the organization as a whole. That way, they're not just hearing it from you, they're hearing it from multiple individuals. Involve staff in those volunteer recognition events. Again, a luncheon can be a lot of work, so ask staff to help out with the events, to offer a few words of gratitude, or even hand out awards. Their presence reinforces that sense of unity and mutual respect. So create opportunities for cross collaboration. So staff and volunteers can work together on projects. When staff witness the impact of volunteers firsthand, they are also more likely to value and acknowledge their contributions. And then promote a culture of appreciation. So encourage your staff to make recognition a routine part of their interactions with volunteers, whether through simple gestures like saying thank you or sharing positive feedback. By actively involving your staff in volunteer recognition, you can foster collaborative and positive environments where volunteers feel seen and valued by the entire organization. So, leveraging community partnerships to strengthen volunteer programs. So, community partnerships are a powerful way to enhance your volunteer program, to expand your reach, and to amplify your impact. Again, partnerships can expand your volunteer recruitment networks. By connecting with local businesses, schools, other nonprofits, you gain access to potential volunteers who are passionate about giving back. Partnerships allow you to access additional resources and support, whether it's event space, materials, possible funding. Community partners can provide valuable resources that strengthen your volunteer efforts. Collaborating with partners on joint service projects is another great benefit. Working together on initiatives lets you combine your strengths, create a broader impact, and build lasting relationships with community members. So let's say you host a annual toy drive. You only have access to those individuals that you have been doing that toy drive for. If you bring in another organization and their volunteers, that toy drive is going to double in size because now you have double the support. So partnerships enhance your visibility and community impact. So when you work with respected community organizations, it raises awareness of your mission, it demonstrates your commitment to community building. And utilizing community partnerships helps you create a well-supported, impactful volunteer program that benefits more than just your organization, but it also benefits your communities. So, evaluating the success of volunteer programs. So, oftentimes you can have 5 volunteers who come in and day out, but you always want to see how you can do things better. You want to gain their feedback so that you're always improving. So, evaluating your volunteer program is essential for understanding its effectiveness, identifying those areas of improvement, and ensuring that it aligns with the values of your organization and the mission. So, begin by measuring volunteer retention and satisfaction. Track retention rates and conduct regular satisfaction surveys that can help gauge how engaged and fulfilled your volunteers feel. Assess the program's impact on mission goals. So consider how volunteer efforts directly contribute to achieving organizational objectives. It can help justify the program's value and guide future planning. Collect feedback for continuous improvements. So again, those surveys, um, the Gallup 12 question one is a great one that you could do to ask your volunteers and your staff for their input on what's working well and what could be enhanced. Feedback provides valuable insights to refine your approach. And then use the data to guide program adjustments. So you all know at Amity, we love data. So use the data that you collect from your volunteers so that you can analyze those key metrics, such as hours contributed, tasks completed, satisfaction scores, so that you can identify trends and make informed decisions on program development and on how to continue the work with your volunteers. So through regular evaluation, you can create a more impactful, rewarding volunteer program that meets the needs of both your organization and your volunteers. So overcoming common volunteer challenges. So sometimes volunteers can come with their own set of challenges, and proactively addressing these can lead to a healthier, more engaged volunteer program. So, if you have challenges with your volunteers, with a volunteer, start by identifying and addressing misaligned expectations. When volunteers have a clear understanding of their role, they're less likely to feel frustrated or disconnected. So, again, the regular check-ins can help adjust any mismatches. Offer conflict resolution and mediation support. Conflicts may arise between volunteers or with staff. Having a clear process to address these issues, including designated points of contact, can resolve concerns before they escalate. It's also important to support volunteer motivation and engagement. So volunteers may lose interest if they feel their work lacks impact. Acknowledge their contributions and highlight the importance of their role to keep them motivated. Implementing flexible roles and responsibilities. Again, the flexibility is key. They're not getting paid to be a volunteer. Life happens, and sometimes volunteers need adjustments. Offering the flexibility can prevent burnout and encourage long-term commitment. If volunteers know that you're willing to work with them, they're going to work with you. By recognizing and actively managing these common challenges, you create a supportive environment where volunteers feel valued, understood, and empowered to do their best work. So, keeping volunteers motivated. So, keeping volunteers motivated is key to sustaining their engagement and ensuring that they continue contributing with enthusiasm. When they're out there in your events, you want them to be happy. You want them to smile. You want them to tell the community who you are with all of the enthusiasm that they have. So, again, start by providing regular recognition and appreciation. The simple thank yous, the appreciation events, the public acknowledgement at the end of an event, it really goes a long way. Set clear goals and show the impact of their work. So when volunteers are more motivated, when they see the results of their efforts, they will share updates on how their contributions are making a difference from your organization and the community. So again, offer opportunities for skill development. Volunteers, this is usually their first step into um, an organization, into the nonprofit world. You want to provide them the training. You want to provide new challenges or even leadership roles. You know, there's head volunteer. You could put them in charge of a station, in charge of their own team, so that they grow personally and professionally, making their experience more rewarding. You want to, again, create that supportive and inclusive environment, a culture that welcomes ideas, encourages collaboration, values each individual's contribution, keeps volunteers engaged and excited to continue their work. By focusing on recognition, clear goals, growth opportunities, and a positive environment, you can keep volunteers motivated and inspired to support your mission long term. And that is the end of our presentation. I don't see any questions in the chat. Does anyone have any questions? Totally fine if you don't. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Today was a little bit shorter than other days, but thank you so much for joining us, and go Dodgers. Have a great day, everyone.